Algebra 2, Lesson 12-3, page 622. Number 1, it says, suppose you start with a square piece of paper that you divide into 4 quarters, cutting out an L-shaped piece using 3 of the quarters and laying it down to create the first term of a geometric series, like in this picture here. You then use the remaining quarter to repeat the process 3 more times as shown. See if we can quantify that a little bit. Okay, so 1, we got 3 quarters, and then 1 minus 1/4 gives us 3 quarters. Number 2, well, this is 3 quarters, and that's 3 quarters of that, so we're going to have 3/4 plus, and that's going to be 3/16, and that gives us 15/16. And it's going to be 1 minus 1/16, and that gives us 15/16. 2 different ways of looking at it. Stage 3, so this was 3 quarters, and that was 3 quarters of that, which that was 3 quarters of 1/4, which is 3/16. This is going to be 3/64. So we got 3 quarters plus 3/16 plus 3/64, and that's going to give us 63/64, or 1 minus 1/64, because that's what we took out here. This 1/64 equals 63/64. So this is 4, and that right there is 1/16. I would say that's 1/4. And then I can't put this one actually in there. That's going to be 1/64. This is going to be 1/256. Okay, so that's 4 to the first, 4 squared, 4 to the third, 4 to the 4th power. All right, so we're going to have 3/4 plus 3/16 plus 3/64 plus 3. Let me clean that up a little bit. Plus, and that's going to be 3/256. And that's going to equal 255/256. 1 minus 1/256, and that's it's 255/256. All right, good deal. B, generalize the results in the table. At stage N, the second column gives you the finite geometric series 3/4 plus 3/16 plus yada yada yada, 3 times 1/4 to the n. The third column gives you a way to sum this series. What formula does the third column give you? Well, it gives you 1 minus, and that's 1/4 to the nth power. So 3/4 plus 3/16 plus 3 times 1/4 to the nth equals 1 minus 1/4 to the n. Number C, show that the general formula for the sum of the finite geometric series agrees with the specific formula from part B. Okay, so the general formula is S sub n equals A times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. That's an n. It's still really low. So let's try that. So we have S sub n equals A was 3/4 And then we got 1 minus r, which is 1/4 to the nth power over 1 minus 1/4. Okay, and then simplify. So this 1 minus 1/4, that's going to be 3/4, right? And 3/4, those cancel out, and you're left with 1 minus 1/4 to the nth power, which is the same as that right there. All right. We're going to skip number 2 and come down here to number 3. What do we got? It says find the sum of the series, find the sum of the finite geometric series. So an easy way would be to just add all of these up. And you could, but that's a lot of calculations. You might notice, let's see, the formula is S sub n equals A times 1 minus r to the nth over 1 minus r. Okay? And something like this small is probably just cheaper to go ahead and add them up. But a long series, you might want to use the thing. So how many terms we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, if you notice, we got an A, which in this case is -3. We have an R, which would be 6 divided by -3, which is -2. And then we have an N, and we just counted those, and that was 8, I believe. So S sub 8 equals -3, I'm using this formula up here, 1 minus, that's -2 to the 8th power over 1 minus -2. And if you put that in your calculator, you come up with 255. Now, honestly, one with just 5 terms like this, I would just go ahead and, but anyway, let's demonstrate. A, the first term is 6. R is going to be, well, it's -4 divided by 6, which is -2/3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. N equals 5. So we put it in our equation. S sub 5 equals 6 times 1 minus, that's -2/3 to the 5th power, yes, 5th power, over 1 minus -2/3. And you'll find that equals 110 over 27. Doing well. Now let's get a little bit more difficult. Number 5. Determine how many terms the geometric series has, and then find the sum of the series. So this is 2 parts. First, we need to figure out how many terms are in there. Now there's a couple ways we could go about it. Let's see. What do we know? We know A is -12. R, that's going to be -4 divided by -12, which is 1/3. Okay. And then, let's see, N is what we're trying to find. Okay, that's the first part. So to do that, let's see here. We're going to put -4 over 243 equals, that's going to be -12, and then R is going to be 1/3, and then we're just going to find out what N is. Okay, so if we divide both sides by -12, then you get -4 over 243 times 1 over -12. Remember, this is divide by -4 over 243 divided by, and that would be -12 over 1. Then I inverted and multiplied. So this becomes 1, and that becomes 3. And 3 times 243 let's see, 3 times, so we're going to get 1. 3 times 3 is 9. That's going to be 12. Put a 1, 6, 7, 729 equals 1 over 3 to the nth power. Well, let's see here. Let's see here. That's going to be like 3 to the I'm going to need my calculator real quick. Let's see here. I'm going to need my calculator real quick. Where's my calculator? All right. And, well, 1, this is supposed to be n minus 1. All right, so we got n minus 1. Should have started it to begin with, but it's up now. So let's go to calculator, and we're going to take the cube of 729, and that is cube of 729 is 9. Oh, but let's see, and it's 3 squared. So 3, and we're going to say 5. 3 to the 5th power, caret 5. That's 243. 3 caret 6 is 729. So that's going to be 1 over 3 to the 6th power equals 1 over 3 to the n minus 1. Now that we've done that, we have the same base, so we can get rid of the bases. Welcome to algebra. 6 equals n minus 1, so 7 equals n. So now we can put a 7 in here. Now that makes it easy. So S sub 7 equals negative 12 times 1 minus 1/3 to the 7th power over 1 minus 1/3. And if you put that in your calculator, you're going to get negative 4,372 over 243. All right. Not a problem. Okay, so what do we got here? Number 6. Number 6. Let's try number 6. So what do we need to figure out? A is 0.3. R is 0.03 divided by 0.3, which is 0.1. Okay. And then we need to find n. All right, so we're going to have, let's see, 0.12345 equals 0.3 times 0.1, and we have n minus 1. All right, so we're going to divide both sides by 0.3, and we're going to get 0.12345 divided by 0.3, and we get 0.1. So this is going to give us 0.1, and these always mess me up, okay? I got to be careful because it gave me at 1 over 10 to the negative fifth. And so I got to change that over, and that's going to make this 5 equals 0.1 and then n minus 1. Okay. Same base. So I got 5 equals n minus 1, add 1 to both sides, and that gives me n equals 6. Now I can go over here and say s sub 6 equals 0.3 times 1 minus 0.1 to the 6th power over 1 minus 0.1, and that's going to give us 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, good deal. You're doing wonderful. Number 7. Number 7. All right. So I got A equals 6. I got R equals 30 divided by 6, which is 5. I need to figure out what n is. What is n? All right. So I got 4, 6, 8, 750 equals 6 times 5 to the n minus 1. Divide both sides by 6, and I got 78,125 equals 5 to the n minus 1. $78,125. So we're going to take the 5th root, 78,125, and 78,125. Okay, it's 9. So really, what I want is, well, the 2 in there. No. That's not what I want to do. So I'm going to spitball here. 5 to the, I'm going to say 5 caret 6. 5 caret 7. Okay, there we go. So 5 caret 7 equals 5 to the n minus 1. Again, we got the same, so we got same base. So n is going to equal 8. All right, and then we have s sub 8 equals 6 times 1 minus 5 to the 8th power over 1 minus 5. And that's going to give us 585,936. I want you to try number 8 on your own, and I'm going to give you a hint. S, you got to show your work. And I'm not going to tell you what term it is. You'll have to figure that out. So you got to figure that part out. And the answer is negative 132,861. Okay? So that's this question mark. All right. So you get to figure out what n is. All right? Good deal. Number 9. Ooh. Number 9, it says geometric series starts with 2 and ends with negative 6,250 and has a common ratio of negative 5. Well, that gave you what A is. Gave you what R is. Okay, so you need to figure out what n is. Let's try that. So we've got negative 6,250. And let's see here, equals 2 times negative 5 to the n minus 1. Divide both sides by 2, and you get negative 3,125 equals, that's going to be negative 5 to the n minus 1. And let's see here, we got a couple, 3125, we don't have that one in there, but so that kind of narrows it down. 5 caret, and let's try 5. 3125, okay? So this is going to be negative 5 to the 5th power equals negative 5 to the n minus 1. Again, common base. So we got 5 equals n minus 1, 6 equals n. So s sub 6 equals, that's going to be 2 times 1 minus that negative 5 to the 6th power over 1 minus negative 5. And that's going to equal negative 5,000. That's a terrible 5. Negative 5,208. All right. A geometric series with 5 terms that begins with 1 and has a common ratio of 1/3. I'd like for you to find it, show you work. And S, since it gave you S 5, it's going to be 121 over 81. Number 11. A geometric series with 7 terms that begins at 1,000 and decreases by 20%. So let's see here. It begins with 1,000, so A equals 1,000. And then R, that's going to be 1 minus 0.2, which is 0.8. And then N, it said N was 7. So we're going to have S sub 7 equals 1,000 times, we got 1 minus 0.8, and that's going to be to the 7th power, and then 1 minus 0.8. And that's going to be 3,951.424. That's really an approximation. I don't think that's... All right, good deal. Number 12. Show your work. I want you to do it on your own. Show your work. And the answer, let's see, first term and these terms, okay. So S sub, and you got to figure what that is, and the answer is negative 1452. All right, good deal. You're doing wonderful. And let's try number 13. Now, folks, 13 is hard, so pay attention, all right? It says the first international chip was in 1851. The single limiter with paired matches, all right? It started with 16 competitors. So match 1 had, wait for it, 8 games. And then match 2 had half of that, which is 4. Match 3 had half of that, which is 2. And then the last match had just 1 game. 8 and 4 is 12, 14, 15 games. 15 games. Ain't that cool? All right. Y'all did wonderful. Well, let's see. We got one more here. Number 14. The ball is dropped from an oop too far. Number 14. I want you to show your work. All right. And let's see. What is A, what is R, what is N, okay? And then S sub 10 equals, and that's approximately 241.6. But you got to show your work, okay? You got to set that equation up. Great job, folks. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in class tomorrow.